My name is Mark Polk, and this is my RV garage. I got bit by the RV bug when I was 15 years old and still have it today. I started in this industry washing campers, and since that time I've helped educate over 250,000 RVers on how to safely and properly use and maintain their RV. My favorite pastimes are RVs, muscle cars, and motorcycles. Welcome to my RV garage.
This episode of Mark's RV Garage is sponsored in part by Camping World, KOA, Explorer RV Insurance, and Progressive Dynamics. Enjoy the show.
Owning an RV is great, but if you don't use it, it's nothing more than a large lawn ornament. I think a big part of using your RV is planning your RV trips. You need to get the calendar out and schedule dates for your RV trips and then actually plan where you want to go. Whether it's a quick weekend getaway or a 2-week summer vacation, when you plan the trip ahead of time, you are more likely to actually take the trip. This also allows you some time to set aside some additional money for the planned RV trip. I'm in the process of planning some of our RV trips for this year, but first we have some other RV stuff to take care of. Let's get started. When we were trying to figure out how to do the shower walls, we went to Lowe's and actually found a tub surround that had a little bit of damage to it, and it was marked down to like $15, and we had to cut that section off anyway, so we've got a really nice surround with some built-in corners that's going to work really well for the shower. So we're getting ready to put that in right now. We have to put some adhesive on the wall here to hold our tub surround wall. So since we're not putting the corners in yet, I'm just getting an idea of where I want to put that adhesive. You just put the adhesive on for these wall sections the same way we did when we did our vinyl floors. Okay, we let it set up for about 15 minutes, and now we're ready to put our shower surround on. I just have to get this lined up halfway decent with my lines. Okay, now we're cutting our back wall for the the shower surround, and once we get it in, we have a tub surround caulking that we're going to use along the edges to put our corners in. That's what will hold the corners. So once we get this back wall in, we'll be able to put one of the corner pieces in. Time to put our corner piece in. It's what makes the surround look really nice. Hot side of the shower. Okay, I think we're actually ready to install the toilet. We installed the toilet flange, and now this is similar to installing a toilet like you would in your house. The one exception is, rather than using a wax type of seal, we're going to use a foam rubber seal that's designed for use with RV toilets. And all you have to do once the flange is installed is slide this seal right over the bottom of the toilet, just like that, and then you put your bolts in the flange, set the toilet down, and tighten the bolts until it's snug. Alright, I mentioned a moment ago we already installed our toilet flange, or closet flange, whatever you want to call it, and we've got our bolts. So all we have to do now with the seal on the bottom is guide these holes down over the bolts. Just going to put a little bit of weight on the toilet to help compress our seal. And like I said, it might be a week from now or 2 weeks. You notice it's a little bit loose and you just have to snug these up a little. Okay, we're getting ready to make our water connection at the toilet, and all we have to do is put an elbow on the water line coming in, and then we're going to put a piece connected to the elbow going up to our water connector on the back of the toilet. And you won't be able to see this one, but we're just going to do the same thing. Our shower enclosure in the trailer came up about 10 inches short at the top, and we were trying to figure out whether to just leave that as paneling or if we wanted to cover it with some type of waterproof surface. We were at the home improvement store and we actually ran across a roll of vinyl flashing, and basically it's the same thing the shower enclosure is made of. And what we thought we would do to add a little custom touch is put a couple rows of these small tiles, ceramic tiles, at the top of the shower enclosure, and then above the tiles finish it off with our vinyl flashing. So it's going to look pretty cool, and it'll give us a watertight, waterproof shower when it's all finished. Okay, we've got our vinyl flashing installed above the shower enclosure, and now we're getting ready to put a row of tile, ceramic tile in here, just to give it a nice accent look. And what I'm going to do is, because I had this paneling with this smooth surface already installed, I'm just going to scuff it up with a piece of sandpaper, so when I put my adhesive for the tile, it'll actually have something to grab a hold of. Okay, we've got everything ready. We're going to start putting our tile accent on, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it in sections of 3, so that'll be our band width. And I don't know if you've seen this before, but this is nothing but ceramic tiles attached to a netting. Makes it really easy to install, and we just take a box cutter and we're going to go 3 wide, so we just cut across, and there's one of our strips. So we're going to cut these, then we're going to put our adhesive on the wall and set them in place, and then after they dry good, we'll do our grout. Okay, we've got some adhesive on here, and I've got some lines that I put, a couple marks to keep this kind of running straight across our shower enclosure. And when you put these on, you can actually press in, and you'll see some of the adhesive come through that netting we talked about earlier. But that's all there is to it, and you can see these are notched out, so when you set the next piece in, it fits right in. You just leave a small 1/8" gap. Okay, we've gotten to our first corner and we actually have to cut our tile. And I'm not sure if I'm, using the exact tool that you should use, but on these small tiles, a Dremel with a cutting blade will do the job. Really, all you have to do is score the tile, and it doesn't have to go all the way through, and it should snap right off. Let's see if that's, yep, see there? And all you have to really do is take your box cutter and cut that netting. Okay, we decided to take our customization one step further here, and we're going to use 2 sheets of our ceramic tile and use it as a backsplash behind our range top burners. It's going to look really cool. And what I did was I cut these tabs off of this end, and then we're going to take a single strip and we're going to lay it in there like that and box it in on both ends. And that'll give it a really nice, clean, finished look. And once it's grouted, you'll never know that it didn't come like that. So we're going to finish cutting these tabs off on this piece, and then we'll be ready to set it in there. Okay, I've sanded this back section to give the adhesive something to grab a hold of, and I ran a pencil line where we're going to put our tiles, put our end piece on here. That's going to kind of box it in, and then we'll take our straight edge. I'll make sure we get some of that adhesive coming through that netting. Then we just take our second sheet, set it right in place. Okay, we just finished painting the bathroom door and a couple other things, and while we're waiting for that to dry, this would be a good time to grout our tile. We're going to grout it with a beige color to tie it in with the rest of the interior of the trailer. And basically, with grout, when you mix it, you just have to add water, and you want to get it to a consistency like peanut butter. And then you can just spread it on, let it haze over and dry, and then you take a sponge with some water and you wipe it off, and it's all done. So we're going to knock that out now, and then hopefully we'll be able to put our bathroom door on. When you're mixing this grout, if it's a little bit too watery, just add a little bit of grout. Okay. Got the grout mix. Now all you want to do here is fill in all these little cracks, and you want to push it in. Okay, I think we have all the cracks filled in. Like I said earlier, you just push it in really good into those cracks, and you can already see it starting to haze over. We're going to let this dry, completely haze over, and then we're just going to take a sponge and some water and kind of work that haze off. We don't want to get too much water because it'll actually take the grout out. We just want to clean the tile. We're going to let that sit for a few minutes, and we're going to start on the shower. All right, we've got the bathroom tile grouted. We're going to go ahead and let it haze over good. I just wanted to mention one thing. When we have been looking for something that we could wrap around these door edges to give us a waterproof seal, and I looked in the home improvement store, looked at the Restore, basically looked everywhere, couldn't find much. That vinyl flashing that we used above the shower, we actually, reading the directions, it said that you could crease corners and it won't crack. So we measured it out, creased our corners, put some good shower caulk on the inside, and just set it in place. And then all we have to do is trim our door out, After we put our door on, all we have to do is run some nice trim, and this is going to give us a waterproof seal and a really nice finished look. All right, I mentioned a moment ago, when you're cleaning the grout, you just need a bucket of clean water and a sponge, and you can see the haze. I'm just going to wipe this hazing off. Now, you're probably going to have to do this 2 or 3 times, but you'll know when you're finished when the tile looks like it did when it was put on brand new. When we purchased the project trailer, there was a shoddy power cord coming into a small electrical panel box. There was no power converter or power distribution center. Since we're upgrading the old Yellowstone with modern day appliances and electronics, we need to make some serious electrical upgrades as well. For starters, our electrical system will be a 30 amp 120 volt system. The power cord coming in needs to be a 10-3 STW wire. I have an old 30 amp 120 volt extension cord we're going to use for that. Our friends at Progressive Dynamics sent me a PD 4000 series power control center. This particular model is a PD 4060. It's our new power distribution center with a 60 amp converter and a 3-stage battery charger built right in. Let's get started wiring our power center. There are a couple of things to consider when planning your branch circuits for a restoration project like this. You always want to keep the voltage drop less than 5%, and the maximum continuous load on your main and branch circuit should never exceed 80% of the circuit breaker's rating. The wire size also needs to be considered based on the length of a run and the amperage. Normally, for 15 amp circuits less than 25 feet, you would use 14 gauge wire, and for 20 amp, you would use 12 gauge wire. Another factor for wire size is where you locate the power center. That determines the length of your runs, which in turn determines the wire size. When we wired the trailer, we brought all of our 120 volt and 12 volt wiring into the same exact location, and that's where our power center is going to be located. So I've got the whole entire bundle right here of the 12 volt and 120 volt wiring, and what I'm going to do to help protect the wires is just slide a piece of PVC pipe down over this, putting that piece of PVC pipe there, so in the future when we're putting stuff into our storage compartment, the wire's protected. Okay, you can see our power center here, and because this is going to be difficult to try to film anything back here, it's dark and it's close quarters, what I'm going to do is, you can see our circuit breakers for the 120 volt side of the power center, and then this is where our 12 volt fuses are going to be located. I'm going to push my 120 volt wires from the back, bring them through, and then we're going to make our connections. And then for the 12 volt side, the power center's already got the wiring at the back, so I can make connections using wire nuts, and then I just have to run my ground wire. Alright, we're making our final connection here on the 120 volt side, our last branch circuit. Okay, we completed the AC side of our power center with the exception of our power cord coming in and getting connected. And I'm going to start on the 12 volt side. And this particular power center has 12 fused positions on the 12 volt side for 12 volt accessories. And I believe we have 8 branch circuits coming in for the 12 volt accessories, so that'll leave 4 open. And then the only thing left after this would be to wire our battery cables into the power center. All right, the last step here is to actually put our fuses in the 12-volt fuse block. All right, this is a back view of our exterior storage compartment and then our power center and converter combination. And what I'm going to do is actually put some paneling along here and across the back to separate the storage compartment from the wiring so we can never damage the wiring by throwing things in, or when you're traveling down the road things are rolling around and hitting the wiring. I'll have an access door from the dinette seat that I can flip up to work on the wiring if I have to. The only other thing about a converter and a power center in an RV is you want to have space around it so it can stay cool. So we'll have enough space where it'll get plenty of air and it'll be able to stay cool. So this is going to work out really well. The only thing left to do with our power center is to ground the 120 volt AC side and the 12 volt DC side, and then make our battery connections.
Don't miss the next episode when Mark finishes wiring the power center and starts installing a brand new rubber roof, compliments of Dicor. Can you believe I know how to use a drill?
Whenever you're working on a project like this or just performing preventive maintenance on your RV, you run into a need for a quality spray lubricant. There have been numerous occasions during this renovation that I needed a penetrating lubricant and protectant. The folks at TPMS Products in Holland, Michigan must have noticed that and felt sorry for me. They sent me 2 great products that I plan to continue using long after the Yellowstone project is finished. BowShield T9 and Rust Free. BowShield T9 was developed and licensed by the Boeing company to fill their need for a superior lubricant and protectant for aircraft. Their research and development proved that none of the Teflon, silicone, or synthetic sprays held up very long when exposed to a corrosive environment. So they set out to engineer a product that could penetrate deeply into fasteners, displace moisture and stop existing corrosion, dry to a clean waxy film, and lubricate and protect for months at a time. The end result was BowShield T9. On your RV, BowShield T9 can be used on electrical connections, awning hardware, electrical terminals, generators, locks and latches, shower doors, steps, window tracks, slide outs, undercarriage protection, trailer hitch and tow bar, rusty nuts and bolts, and for long-term storage. The rust-free product is an easy-to-use cleaner for removing tough stains and surface rust. You just spray it on and allow it to penetrate for 30 to 60 seconds, and then wipe it off with a dry cloth. I have literally used spray lubricants and rust removers for decades in the automotive and RV industries. Since receiving these 2 products from TPMS Products, I've tried them not only on the RV, but on my boat, cars, fishing reels, hand tools, and on Tyler's bicycle chain. These products have exceeded all of my expectations and work better than other spray lubricants or rust removers I've tried in the past. For more information on BowShield T9 and Rust Free, visit www.bowshield.com.
At Explorer RV, we understand that a recreational vehicle is one of the biggest purchases you'll ever make. That's why we really take the time to discover what kind of insurance you require. Then we'll tailor a policy to that level of coverage. As your needs change over time, we'll check back to ensure your policy is still providing the value you're looking for. Choose the RV insurance experts. Choose Explorer RV.
Well, you can see our to-do list is getting shorter, but there's still some big ticket items we need to take care of. I am a huge advocate for consumer education on tire care and maintenance. I think there is more educational material available now on RV tire care and maintenance than ever before. That's great news, but with all the care and maintenance in the world, it's impossible to know what kind of damage may have already occurred to the inside of a tire that you're unaware of and have no way of knowing when the tire might fail. The good news is there is a way to monitor your tires while you are traveling. It's called a tire pressure monitoring system. The big question is which TPMS to get. To help narrow my choices down, I had some additional criteria I wanted the TPMS to meet. Ease of installation and use, monitor both the motorhome and the towed vehicle tires, a good alert alarm warning system, monitor the tires for loss of air pressure, monitor the tires for possible overheating, a good cost-effective system. After some research, I discovered the Tire Minder TPMS by Minder Research. There were several models available. I chose the 400 series model because of the features it offered, like monitoring up to 22 wheels, a pressure range of 0 to 145 psi. It's user programmable, so you can set it up to match your particular needs, and it's easy to install and easy to use. I like the fact that there is a visual as well as audible warning system if you experience a loss in pressure, and there's a temperature alarm if the tire temperature rises above 167 degrees Fahrenheit. Another added benefit was that you can replace the lithium batteries in all of the transmitters when the battery dies, rather than replacing the entire transmitter, which can get very expensive. Now let me show you how easy it is to set up and use. It's important that you read the owner's manual when your TPMS arrives. It's easy to install, but it does require some unique programming. The receiver comes partially charged, so you can start programming immediately. The first step is to install the batteries. Just unscrew the transmitter cover and insert a battery. Be sure the plus sign is facing up under the metal clip. When the tires are cold, check and inflate them to the recommended inflation pressures. Inspect all valve stem threads for scratches, rust, or other damage. If damaged, have them replaced before mounting the transmitters. If you are monitoring dual wheels, it is best to have clear access to both valve stems. The next step is to program the Tire Minder monitor to your vehicle's specific tire pressure. Press and hold the center button for 5 seconds. Press right or left button until the desired pressure is displayed. Press the center button to confirm and move to the next tire position. Repeat these steps for all tire positions to be monitored. To exit, press and hold the center button for 5 seconds. The display will beep and revert to the standby mode after another 5 seconds. Now, from the standby mode, press and hold both right and left buttons at the same time for approximately 5 seconds. All 22 positions will appear on the monitor. The front left tire position will flash with a red LED illuminated. Mount any transmitter at the location indicated on the screen. The LED will turn green and the exact tire PSI will be displayed within 30 seconds. It's a good idea to have the receiver in your hand during this process. Press the right or left button to move to the next tire position. Repeat until all transmitters are mounted. Exit after the last transmitter has been mounted. Press the right and left buttons simultaneously. At this point, you should only see the number of tire positions which have transmitters installed. All other positions will have disappeared. The monitor will revert to the standby mode after 5 seconds. To see the system in action, you may now press the right or left button and scroll through all tire positions. The first press will show the tire pressure, the second press will display the temperature, and the third press will move to the next tire position. For now, you are all set. Mount the monitor receiver where it's visible but does not obstruct your view of the road. The installation is simple and straightforward if you follow the owner's manual. Now the tire minder will constantly monitor all of the tires that you program. It monitors tire pressure and temperature and provides both visual and audible blowout warnings. Checking tire pressure and temperature is right at the tip of your finger. I can even monitor the tires on the vehicle we tow behind the motorhome. Now you can rest assured that you will be warned if any of your tires have a problem while traveling down the road. The Tire Minder TPMS is available at www.campingworld.com. Don't leave home without it.